Why are you running? Why are you running?
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please.
Alright, the dual triangle has started, and Light Earth is in the lead. Big shocker. I know. I've been playing a bit of Dark Water myself, and as you can see, it's every single one, but one of my games has been against Light Earth. And man, Fire Wind really down horrendous right now. And like of the decks that I played in Light Earth, well, you probably guessed, like, we got Blue-Eyes here, we got Blue-Eyes here, we got Blue-Eyes here, we got Blue-Eyes here with white dust on, the proud dust of them all, way more better than the Blue-Eyes as a vanilla monster, clearly. And yeah, I have a pretty good win rate against Blue-Eyes, honestly, with this deck, because I designed this deck to be anti-Blue-Eyes, so like I have like a 6-1 record or whatever. Like I've only lost once against Blue-Eyes with this deck. I've lost against other random stuff like Exo Sister, which I guess you'll see why I would lose to a deck like Exo Sister, but that's not the point. You know, this deck I specifically designed if you just play against Blue-Eyes, you're gonna have a good time. So yeah, this is the Marincess deck where okay, so the Marincess cards don't really matter here. I'm gonna be honest, like the most important part is like the non-Marincess cards. Okay, if you want to fit in another deck, in a deck core in like this deck and not play the Marincess cards, that's fine too. But yeah, I mean the reason the reason Blue-Eyes is you get the farm Blue-Eyes is because Crow plus Psycho Reader. That's pretty good against Blue-Eyes, especially Psycho Reader. Not even a hard once per turn. So like, yeah, and you just run more anti Blue-Eyes cards in your deck too. There aren't that many available, so like these are, I think, some of the best ones. Called by the Grave, obviously. So Called by, it's kind of weird. You have to like wait for the Spirit Dragon, but it's fine as long as, because Spirit Dragon is a 1, like they'll rarely be able to make Spirit Dragon plus well, they'll never even make double Spirit Dragon. They'll rarely ever be able to get that setup where like the ultimate Spirit Dragon and like preventing them from banishing stuff, because the Call by the Grave will check the Spirit Dragon that summons it in the first place. So yeah, and then you have Call by, or you have even the Imperm, which Imperm is even way better against Blue-Eyes because Maiden is at 1, so oftentimes if you Imperm the Sage, it actually makes it really hard for them to get Maiden access too, so that's nice. And then Dominus Impulse, which so just another way to prevent them from summoning Blue-Eyes and establishing Blue-Eyes monsters on the field. And then you have these spell and trap move like Typhoon and Twin Twister. So Typhoon is just basically Ghost Ogre we're not allowed to run Ghost Ogre in a Dark and Water group for obvious reasons, so this is the next best thing. This is just a kind of a Ghost Ogre, which does work. I just cut this down to 1 because honestly this is only good against Blue-Eyes. It's not good against literally any other deck, so you know, that's why I used to run 3 of this, and yeah, it was nice when I drew it against Blue-Eyes, but like I didn't like drawing it against, like I drew this against Drytron. I was like, not so great. So yeah, and then triple Twin Twisters, because you generally know what they have set. Like, you know where the Matter Seed is, you know where the Drill Beam is. If you just hit Matter Seed and Drill Beam with the Twin Twister, that's like the majority of your interruption right there. So you can play through most of the board afterwards then. And yeah, then I'm playing the Marincess Court because I mean you know what channel you're on, but like this deck is actually pretty good against playing through. If they just cannot establish a Majesty or Drill Beam, then this deck is pretty good because the rest of their stuff is hand traps, and this deck is very good at playing through hand traps. Every starter is a 1-card combo, and half of the starters eat up 2 hand traps each, because Blue Tang sends an extender, and then they have to veil it, and then they have to negate whatever you link 1 you make, and then Blue Tang can, MBT can excavate another extender potentially, so MBT can play through like 2 hand traps sometimes by itself. Stuff like Seahorse and Aqua Angel and Spring Girl, they negate they negate the Sea Angel that you make with these. Then the Aqua Angel just suns itself back, and then you still get to a core enemy. Plus, you get to see your opponent's hand. You get perfect information. Pascalis, you normal summon Pascalis. A lot of people will Valor the Pascalis for some reason. In which case, then you can just link out the Pascalis, and you still make a link. Still make a link 4 through a hand trap. So like the Valors and stuff, you know, you can do that. You can still have a play through Valors quite often, and yeah, Plot of Desires is to draw more of these anti-Blue-Eyes cards. If you open any, generally, if I see myself, I open like 2 of these 18 cards that are good against Blue-Eyes, I generally have a chance. Dominance Impulse is like unironically the worst of these anti-Blue-Eyes cards. This is Dominance Impulse is like literally for every other matchup, because against Blue-Eyes, this is basically just a Ghost Spell or a Skullmeister. It's not like the most impactful, but like against every other deck, provided you don't play against Blue-Eyes, yeah, you probably want Dominance Impulse, especially when the fact that this is a deck that searches Marincess Wave, so that every turn 1 or every game you go first with this deck, your Dominance Impulse pops a card too. So yeah, you're gonna see in the replays, you know, this deck has how this deck is able to have such a good Blue-Eyes matchup, and why I think it's a good choice if you're playing the Dark and Water Fest, or in a Dark and Water group, specifically for this event. And the extra deck is also pretty straightforward, like 2 Blue Slug, 2 Sea Angel, 2 Core Enemy, Crystal Heart, Splash Mage, Marble Rock, Coral Triangle, Bubble Reef, Argonaut, Steelanthus. That's all pretty standard. I put in a Typhon and a SP Little Knight, because SP Little Knight comes up a lot because you only waterlock yourself when you go into a Blue Slug or a Core Enemy, and oftentimes you'll get into grind states where your opponent stops you from getting to these in the first place. For example, you go into Sea Angel and it gets negated. Well, then you just make an SP and then you play SP control from there, which is still fine because, again, your non-engine is oftentimes enough to just beat Blue-Eyes anyways. And this is for also in grind situations where your opponent hand traps you and you can't do anything, or sometimes you have like, you open 3 DD Crow and Cycle Readers, then you just normal summon one of them onto Typhon, and then when they try to play through their Typhon, you just Cycle Reader them again after you made the first cycle, after you used the first Cycle Reader to make a Typhon, and then they just leave after that too. So yeah, this is honestly pretty standard, but you're pretty straightforward. Like there's really not much thought put into this. It's there's really not much to explain. I think it's pretty self-explanatory just by looking at the deck list. So yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention why it's fine to run Ally versus Cycle Reader, because you might be thinking this is way too narrow of a card. What if you play against not Blue-Eyes decks? Well, as you saw, we pretty much only played against decks in the Light and Earth group. And of the decks in the Light and Earth group, primarily we're going to be playing against Light decks. So even if you don't play against Blue-Eyes, but you play against a different Light deck, this card is still honestly the best non-engine you can play. Like, let's say you play against Drytron. This is an FTK. You play against White Forest. This is probably the single best hand trap you can run against White Forest. You play against Fiendsmith. Well, you're not playing against Fiendsmith anymore because this gets rid of the entire Fiendsmith engine by itself. So your opponent's playing your opponent's playing their deck without their Fiendsmith engine when you have Cycle Reader. So yeah, I think the only light deck this isn't good against is Exo Sister. So yeah, I mean I did lose to an Exo Sister, not gonna lie, because I drew Crow Cycle Reader, but you know, I'll take having a good matchup against literally every other light deck to sometimes lose to Exo Sister. I think that's worth it, given my matchup spread. So this is how you would ideally want a game versus Blue-Eyes to go. We open 2 non-engine plus 3 Marincess names. 2 of them are extenders, so this is excellent. I just dumped Spring Girl because Spring Girl is basically the last extender, and now we have access to all 3 extenders, and I can try to hit off the MBT. Of course, we never hit anything off the MBT, even in a deck with this many Marincess names. And Blue Slug adds back the Spring Girl. And here I just special on the Aqua Angel because, number 1, show me that hand. Number 2, Aqua Angel chain blocks Sea Angel from Purge. So that's nice. You always want to chain block your Sea Angel if you can. And our opponent's hand, this is going to be real quick. Yeah, okay. Well, I have like 1 frame to pause the match so I can see their hand. It goes away next frame. So yeah, their hand is True Light, Drill Beam, Triple Tactics, Bingo Machine Go. Interesting. And then Sage with Eyes of Blue. So now that we know their whole hand, we can use our interruptions accordingly. So keep this hand in mind. Drill Beam, Triple Tactics, Bingo Machine, Sage, True Light. Okay. And now C and Joe, also they don't have, we see they don't have any hand traps. So we don't have to respect the Nibiru because we know they don't have it. And now we're just link climbing. This is pretty simple standard Marincess stuff. Coral an enemy, try to mill something, mill Cycle Reader plus DD Crow. It's funny, but unfortunately they're not going to be added to our hand. And then here, link off in the Coral Triangle, Coral enemy add something back, add Search Marincess Wave, special Seahorse going to Crystal Heart, then make Aqua Argonaut with Crystal Heart, and then go with the end phase. And here, this is like a pretty good standard setup. Aqua Argonaut is now unaffected with a Marincess Wave Surge plus a Dominus Impulse plus a Crow and a Spell Trap Negate on the Aqua Argonaut. So yeah, now we get to, because we saw our opponent's entire hand and they drew a Period Rise Down, so we still know our opponent's entire hand. Now they're gonna normal summon Sage, and here I Marincess Wave the Sage because I don't really think I have a better target. I know they have double Sage in hand still, so this is kind of awkward in that they can just link it off. They instead go Bingo Machine Go. I know they have a Drill Beam in hand, so I'm literally just holding this Aqua Argonaut. This Aqua Argonaut is not going to be used for any. The spell Trap Negate is not going to be used for anything except the Drill Beam to protect the Battle Ocean. So yeah, they're going to go Spirit of Ice of Blue, and that's going to add the Field Spell, unfortunately. So they do get to add the Field Spell, and then they get the normal summon the Sage again and add the Maiden. But unfortunately, we know they have True Light in hand too, so it's a bit minus for them. So they activate True Light from hand. True Light gets Wishes. That's fine. I'm fine with that. They activate Wishes. That's fine. I know what's in their hand. They also pitched the Blue Eyes, so we know that they added the Blue Eyes on the Bingo Machine Go. So we still know their rest of their hand. It's still Drill Beam plus Triple Tactics, and now they have a Roar with a Sage. And they already used their 2 normal summons, so the Sage can't be summoned again. And they're gonna use Spirit of Eyes of Blue to summon back the Blue Eyes, and here we're just gonna Crow the Blue Eyes. So yeah, I know they have TTT in hand, but the TTT can only draw them cards. They can't take the Aqua Argonaut for obvious reasons because it's double unaffected. They're gonna use Roar, which we're gonna Dominus Impulse, so I can still hold the Aqua Argonaut for the Drill Beam if necessary. And then we're gonna use Sage of Eyes of Blue, target their own Sage. Now they go a bit more minus to summon back the Blue Eyes. So now they get to summon back the Maiden, which is fine. They're going to use Wishes to equip to the Blue Eyes, is whatever. They're going to finally Drill Beam, and then that's what we hold them Aqua Argonaut for. So they were trying their darndest to bait the Aqua Argonaut, but we know they're in higher hand, so there was no need for us to do so. So now they can Triple Tactics, but they can only draw 2 cards because they can't steal anything. I mean, they can steal the ultimate Coral enemy if they want. That's not going to really do them any good. They could also, they can't look at my hand because what hand, right? So they're going to draw 2. They already normal summon twice. They use their additional normal summon, so whatever they draw, they can't use, anyways. And yeah, they draw into a Worldly though, which is fine because they literally can't normal summon the Effort Barrel anyways. And now they're gonna go into Spirit Dragon, and here everyone forgets this. They enter battle phase, and everyone. This is like Avermax. You see their monster, get picked up off the field, indicating an attack, and then they realize they can't attack anything except for Aqua Argonaut, and they put it back down, and they go into main phase 2. That's called the shame battle phase, as we call it. So now they're going to Lordly Load to summon back the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then that's it. That's it for their turn. So now, like, literally, they're dead meat. They're going to draw phase Spirit Dragon, summon back the Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and the only way they have an out of this, the only way they don't immediately lose on the spot is if that second card they drew is Effect Veiler. So I'm gonna use Core Enemy, and then they use Ultimate Spirit Dragon to negate the Core Enemy. So here I do a bunch of unnecessary plays to try and bait out an Effect Veiler when logically I know they don't have an Effect Veiler, because if they had an Effect Veiler, they would use the Effect Veiler on the Core enemy. Well, like if they had Effect Veiler, why would they use their Omni Negate on the Core enemy when the Effect Veiler would have just negated and done the trick anyways? So I don't need to do all this. I do this to try and bait out the Effect Veiler they never had in the first place. So this is just a bunch of unnecessary crap that burns my timer for no reason. And it's kind of BM, not gonna lie, but yeah, I summon the Marble Rock, and I add back the Marincess Wave to add and then Marble Rock adds back the blue Tang, and then I normal summon the blue Tang I was trying to revive the Core Enemy anyway. Send the Mandarin, special summon back the Mandarin. Mandarin link off into Blue Slug, add back Spring Girl, and here I link into Bubble Reef, I discard, I MBT try and excavate, and I also make the Bubble Reef equipped it with Battle Ocean, and then excavate, and I miss again, always miss off the MBT, and then Bubble Reef bring back the Mandarin, and here I just go into Sealantis. I'm like, okay, if you held the Veiler for that long and you didn't use it over the Ultimate Spirit, it's whatever, but obviously they didn't have the Veiler in the first place, so yeah, now everything, your entire field gets banished and it doesn't come back because I can't special summon non-water monsters, and guess what, these are not water monsters. So now, even if for some reason they had a Nibiru, I don't think they're gonna win because they don't have any more Blue Eyes. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do from here anyways, so yeah, we go core an enemy and then we just enter battle phase, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, they even when they you know, opened a pretty okay hand, like that was a lot of gas, and we didn't resolve Cycle Reader. For the most part, if you set up your board, you're still mostly fine. So here's a game where we're going second versus Blue Eyes, and we open a Cycle Reader, so you know we're going in. Opponent has a pretty good hand again, so Pure Rise Map, add the Sage, and now they're gonna normal summon Sage, add Maiden, go into Spirit of Eyes of Blue, add Mausoleum, activate Mausoleum, and then dump the Blue Eyes. And now they're gonna summon back Spirit of Blue Eyes, summon back with Spirit of Blue Eyes. We could have Cycle Reader here, but I just let it go because, like, honestly, this is not a very worthwhile Cycle Reader. If they had Maiden in hand anyways, they could have extended past this Cycle Reader, so that was bait. I wasn't gonna do that. They're gonna then Wishes pitch to True Light, which makes sense. Add Majesty and then Sage, and then Wishes equipped to the Spirit of the Blue Eyes, normal summon the second Sage, add a Veiler, and then go into Spirit Dragon, and then they're going to finally discard the Maiden to set the True Light from the grave. And like they did play around a Bestial in a sense, where they've established Spirit Dragon to where if I had a Bestial, you know, they have the option of tagging Spirit Dragon into Ultimate Spirit Dragon. But as you'll see, so they're going to True Light, try to summon back the Blue Eyes, and then I Cycle Reader, and here they could negate this. However, negating this wouldn't even be good because they only have one Ultimate Spirit Dragon in their extra deck, and if they tag out the Spirit Dragon right now into Ultimate Spirit Dragon, the Ultimate Spirit Dragon is going to get just popped at the end phase, and then they're not going to have an Ultimate Spirit Dragon for my turn. So they could either save their Blue Eyes and Maiden of White engrave, or save their Ultimate Spirit Dragon in their extra deck. So like they have to choose which one they want to keep, and they ultimately decide to keep the Ultimate Spirit Dragon in their extra deck and just chain Ultimate Fusion to shuffle the Blue Eyes back so that they have a Tyrant Dragon, which doesn't do anything. So like I'm still fine with that, and especially because now they have no more Blue Eyes, because they turned off. They also turned off by not saving their Blue Eyes by tagging into Spirit Dragon. Their Majesty now doesn't have a pop. So awesome. Now like this even easier to play through. And yeah, this hand we have Mandarin, Basil Lima, and Spring Girl. So I'm gonna normal summon Basil Lima, go into Sea Angel, try to get a search, gets failured, and I let this go. Oh, I let this go. I don't call, but you don't call by this. If you call by this, they just chain Spirit Dragon, and then it goes ultimate Spirit Dragon, and then the call by doesn't resolve, and then I still get negated and I lose my call by. That's a no-go. You save the call by for the tagging effect of Spirit Dragon only, and this hand easily plays through a effect Veiler anyways. This deck is super easy, super good at playing through hand traps, as you'll see. So anyways, special Spring Girl. I know their Majesty is offline, so I can banish this Basil Lima, which Basil Lima has gives me branded opening protection, but I know their Majesty doesn't even do anything. So now they're gonna negate negate the Spring Girl mill effect. Thank you, because that was relevant. They didn't have anything else to negate anyways, so that was the only thing they could have gotten value out of the Spirit Dragon anyways. But yeah, anyways, core an enemy, add back the Spring Girl, and then I use Core Triangle to pitch the Spring Girl to add the Marincess wave, and then link these two into Great Bubble Reef, Great Bubble Reef, I'll send Spring Girl to summon back the Mandarin, and then I'm gonna go into Zealantis. So yeah, they already used their Veiler that they searched, and at this point they're like, I'm begging you, please go into Ultimate Spirit Dragon. They don't even tag, like they just let me go in this. They don't even tag out their Blue-Eyes Spirit Dragon. I don't know if they didn't know this interaction, but in case you didn't know, all your stuff gets banished and it doesn't come back. That means that it didn't matter because I had to call by the grave anyways, so like either way they were fucked. There was like no way out of this for them. And yeah, they're also like dead because that's 4k on board and I can pop in the battle phase, so yeah, that was cool. I'll say Psycho Reader soloed a very good hand. Don't know if it should have soloed it, but definitely they were not in a good position regardless anyways, as soon as the Psycho Reader resolved, so yeah. So this game, we're going first, and spoilers, we're not playing against the Blue-Eyes like this time. I know, shocker. But we do open Psycho Reader, so we're going to normal summon Pascalis, special summon Mandarin, and then Mandarin going to Sea Angel, and then the Sea Angel gets impermed, you know, because the Sea Angel is a choke point. It's one of the few choke points people know about Marincess, so this obviously gets negated, but that's fine. So now I'm going to go into a Core Anemone, try to revive the Sea Angel, and then Mandarin summon back to the Sea Angel zone, and then Core Anemone plus Mandarin go into Coral Triangle, Core Anemone add back the Pascalis, and then Coral Triangle discard the Pascalis, add the Princess Wave. And here I'm thinking they probably don't have Nibiru at this point. If they did, they probably would have Nibiru'd before I got the Search Wave. So now we go into Great Bubble Reef, and here I just keep going. I'm like I didn't even use the Seahorse, and I didn't go through Blue Slug, so I'm like, that's a waste. Why don't I get some resources back for free? So special Seahorse going to Blue Slug. Blue Slug is going to add back the Seahorse, and now I'm going to use Bubble Reef effect to discard the Seahorse to summon back my Mandarin so that I have it for follow up on the next turn. Back in grave, I'm going to the Splash Mage, and now Splash Mage revive back whatever, doesn't matter. Then I go into Marble Rock, and then Marble Rock is going to add back the Seahorse for more follow up. So essentially, this Seahorse, by summoning the Seahorse, we just got a free Marble Rock out of this whole thing. We got a free Link 3 Marincess. And this makes the board slightly better, because if for some reason they have a Kaiju or something, I don't know, are Kaijus even legal? But regardless, if one of these dies, I can still activate Marincess Wave, because Marincess Wave requires a Link 3 or higher Marincess monster to be used from hand, and since I control 2 Link 3 monsters, even if they get rid of one, doesn't matter, I can still activate from hand. Also, Marble Rock means that I have battle protection. If they ever want to enter battle, I can just Seahorse and make the battle basically null. So yeah, it's just another layer of protection, and it was literally free, as you saw. So you know, might as well if it's free, just might as well grab it, right? And now we get to draw a card off the Sea Angel, and we draw into Aqua Angel. So that Aqua Angel is just another card to discard from Marble Rock, but just even more battle protection. Because Marble Rock, when an opponent's declared attack, you can send a Marincess monster to the grave, and then monster cannot be destroyed, and I take no battle damage. That's not a once per turn, so I can use it for as many water monsters as I have in hand. So we get to like whiff 2 attacks as well. And there are opponents on Drytron. So Drytron, again, we got Psycho Reader out here, so we're gonna Drytron Alpha, Pit Alpha, Tribute Delta, add Ben 10, and then they're gonna use Delta, Tribute Zeta, and here I'm figuring this is probably a good time as ever. I know they have a Benton in hand, but whatever the Benton surges, I have Wave plus Imperm, so that doesn't even scare me. And now they lose both their Delta plus their Zeta, so like they lost 2 names from 1 Psycho Reader, so that's pretty devastating. Also, Bubble Reef randomly gets bigger. They have a Zeta in hand, so that's funny. And they tribute Ben 10 to add the what's it called, the Diviner, which is fine. They're gonna go Mu Beta Fafner, which walks right into a Marincess Wave, so now my monsters are unaffected, and their Mu Beta Fafner is negated. Also, like I don't think any deck really has an easy out to unaffected monsters that are this big this format. So I don't think that even if they had more plays, which they don't, because the Diviner's just gonna get impermed too, because I also open non-engine in this deck, and they can't really, literally they can't do anything to this board anymore. So yeah, Baytan Dark, more like light. So I guess I might as well show the only game I played against a Fire and Wind deck this entire time I was playing Marincess. So here, normal summon MET, and we're gonna dump Mandarin. This is what I call the Luck Sack line. So we're gonna go into Sea Angel, and then Sea Angel Chainlink 1, Blue Tank Chainlink 2, because here we only have one extender in hand, so we have Spring Girl and Seahorse still in deck. So we have 6 hits off MBT that get us a free extender. So you might as well, so instead of just dumping an extender to grave, adding it back with Blue Slug, instead I'm gonna dump Mandarin, because Mandarin is guaranteed to be an extender in our hand because we already have an Aqua Angel. So this Mandarin is gonna be live. So now we get the chance to hit a better chance to hit a extender off the NBT, and as you can see, we get rewarded for it because we reveal a Spring Girl. So now we just get a free extender in hand off the MBT Excavate, and now the Sea Angel adds the Battle Ocean. And here I'm gonna special summon the Aqua Angel, and I just link it off because I want to see my opponent's hand as early as possible. And my opponent's playing Volcanic. This is probably the only Volcanic duelist in the entire event. They're probably running Snake Eyes too, but you know, the Snake Eyes cards are kind of limited, so there's not a high chance of opening with them. So yeah, they just have a bunch of Volcanic cards and a Droplet, which this is the absolute worst deck to be playing Forbidden Droplet against. Like, I cannot. This is probably the only deck where Droplet literally does nothing against, because I have Battle Ocean in my hand, and I'm gonna make an the minute I see fucking Forbidden Droplet, I'm gonna make an unaffected Aqua Argonaut so that the Droplet does nothing. So yeah, summon back the MBT, go into Coral Triangle, Coral Enemy, add back the MBT, discard the MBT for the Marincess Wave. Also, I know they don't have any hand traps since I saw their hand with Aqua Angel, so that's free. Banish Aqua Angel, summon back the Mandarin, and then I'm gonna go into Crystal Heart, see if I mill anything off the Spring Girl, mill the Dominus Impulse. Would have been really nice if I had a Dominus Impulse in hand too, because that would have made my Dominus Impulse destroy card too. But we milled a Pascal, which is already a very good, like, Pascal gives us guaranteed follow up. It gets it, guarantees add us back Marincess Wave for next turn if it even gets to there. So that's cool. And now we go into Aqua Argonaut. So now this Aqua Argonaut is unaffected with the Crystal Heart, and our opponent's Forbidden Droplets literally does nothing. So now that our opponent's playing with like 5 cards with 1 less card in their hand. We're gonna activate Forbidden Droplets, sending the, like, I guess it had a purpose. It sent the Blaze Accelerator reload into the grave. So like that does something, I guess. But obviously the Droplet doesn't do anything itself. They're gonna use Volcanic Blaze Accelerator, send the Blaze Accelerator, target the Aqua Argonaut just to send the Ribfire, because none of this shit does anything to my monster. I don't even know if they have an out for this. I'm not gonna lie. So I just call by the Rimfire, and then it's spam. By the way, I equipped the 3. You should not equip 3 in this scenario. So I have like 4 back row, which is unfortunate. Like, you should only equip maximum of 2 here, because that way I could have set the Twin Twister, I wouldn't set the Twin Twister because I wouldn't want to discard the Wave. But if I had an open slot, that means I could still use the Wave. Now, because I equipped 3, I have to set in Imperm and Callby, and I have to use one of these first before I can use Marincess Wave, which it doesn't really matter because I can just use the Imperm and set the Wave first. It's literally the same effect, so it's not a big deal, but it's just something to keep in mind. And now they're gonna use Blaze Accelerator, summon the Rocket, which Rocket now just gets Marincess Waves, so they have even less extenders. I don't really know what they're doing, what they can do here. Volcanic Trooper gets Imperm. I Imperm this. I know they can make a, what's it called, a Nightmare Phoenix to pop my Battle Ocean, but I have Pascal's engraved, so I can just add the Battle Ocean back to my hand next turn anyways. And if they go Nightmare Phoenix, they literally don't have another play. So first of all, they go Nightmare Phoenix, nice zone placement. I don't know why you... I gave you the zone for free so that you could get a draw off the Nightmare Phoenix. Why would you not take the free draw? Come on, man. You just lost out on the draw free. Oh yeah, they hard drew into a second Droplet, or they drew double Droplet versus the one deck where it does absolutely nothing against. That's kind of sad for them. So yeah, they popped the Battle Ocean, and now they must think that they can pop my Aqua Argonaut, right? So yeah, they send the Scatter Shot, and then the Scatter Shot's resolved to try and pop my monster, and why game bugged? Why game bugged? It's because Marincess Wave protects my monsters for the whole turn, for the whole turn, regardless of like anything that if they're on the field by the time I activate Marincess Wave, they're unaffected. It doesn't matter if the Battle Ocean goes to the grave, does not matter for shit. So that, yeah, we just saw a deck draw a bunch of dead cards versus the towers. So, you know, I guess this is why people don't play the Fire and Wind decks. I don't know. So, out of every deck I played against in the Light and Earth group, this was the only deck that wasn't Light. So, you'll just have to wait and see what it is, but or you can read the description and then see what it is. But you know that's ruining the fun. That's ruining the surprise. So normal zone Basilema, add back Basilema to see if it baits, see if they have anything special. Seahorse going to Sea Angel, and then Sea Angel searches a Battle Ocean, and here I activate Battle Ocean. I could have gone if I wanted to search Marincess Wave. I could you would search Dive instead. That way you can search Wave and have to put the Coral Dragon Grave. But this line gets you to Battle Ocean, which lets you go end on Aqua Argonaut. So it's like whether you want the Spell and Trap negate or the Monster negate more, and including being the towers and everything. So usually I search Wave. Here I just instinctively grab the Battle Ocean, which meant that I can't make Wave. So instead we go Splash Mage, revive something, go into Coral Anemone, and Coral Anemone revives the Splash Mage. And here, since we have the Battle Ocean, we can go into Aqua Argonaut, and then Aqua Argonaut Eclipse 3 from Grave, and then we add back the Seahorse as follow-up. And here, it's kind of weird, because like I have the Basilema still stuck in my hand, which because I added it back off like the Blue Slug when I didn't need to. But, you know, it's a free discard for Twin Twisters, because that'll be relevant, right? And our opponent is, first of all, they activate Fiendsmith, Graver, and Graver adds Track, and then they're going to Track, add Lurie, then pitch Lurie, and then Specialist Lurie. And here it's like this is not Cycle Reader, but this is almost good. You just crow the Lurie out of the grave, and now they don't have a Light Fiend for to revive the Engraver as well. So I'm fine with that. And then they try to call by the grave this, and I'm like, it's probably an important play if you're using your call by on that against Marincess of all decks, because you know I play hella hand traps. So I'm gonna just negate the call by and then summon back the Coral Enemy, and now they summon Doki Doki. So I'm like, Fiendsmith rocks. That is a new one. I can't say I've seen that before, like ever in my life, or anyone else has ever seen this in their life. So anyway, they're gonna Doki Doki and they're gonna pitch Researcher, which this seems like a misplay. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm gonna imperm this. So first of all, I know my Twin Twisters is fucking dead, so like that's if I was against Blue-Eyes, we'd be chilling with this Twin Twisters, but we're playing against fucking Adamancipator FIENDSMITH. So yeah, we imperm the Doki Doki, and that you can see why it's a misplay, because after the imperm, they just concede. So I'm like, if you were gonna concede to an imperm on the Doki Doki, why the hell didn't you just special the Researcher in the first place, instead of try to use Doki Doki's effect? That would have played around imperm. You would have had an extra body on the field. Now, like, would you have been able to do anything with that body with like 2 level 2s? Probably not, but you know, they were probably lost anyways. But that just made it look even worse. So yeah, if you're having trouble finding a deck you feel comfortable using for the Dark and Water group, just play these cards in your deck, and it doesn't matter. Honestly, it won't matter what the hell deck you're playing, as long as you play these non-engines, you'll probably do fine anyways. That's kind of the idea. And obviously, I'm going to continue playing this event. I have other decks cooked up that, you know, spoilers. I'm not going to be playing Blue-Eyes because I've seen enough of that deck in ranked. I don't need to play more of that myself. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing me play more decks for this event that are, I promise, are going to be more interesting than just draw Cycle Reader Forehead. But yeah, let me know. And if you're still stuck on what decks to play, go check out my other videos on this event where I go over budget decks and strong dexterous events. So hopefully those will help you get an idea for a deck you want to play if you don't already have one in mind already. But yeah, thank you for watching.